Daren Jaime back here with you. Mosaic is an annual magazine exploring the literary arts by writers of African descent. It also features interviews and essays and book reviews. This weekend, the magazine is going to pay tribute to the work of American novelist James Baldwin at a literary conference. And here to tell us more, we welcome now the publisher of Mosaic Magazine, Ron Cavanaugh. Ron, good to have you.
Good to be here. Good to be
For
here.
the very first time with Daren Jaime.
Yeah.
I've heard you've been all around the BronxNet globe, but haven't touched me, but good to have you.
First time.
First time. I'll go light on you. Listen, exciting weekend for you.
Yeah. So, every year we do this. Mosaic Literary Magazine comes out 3 times a year, and we focus on writers of the African diaspora. In each issue, we also do lesson plans for educators. And the conference is kind of an extension of these lesson plans that we create. So we hope to offer teachers and the community and parents ways to really keep books and reading important in the lives of young people.
When you talk about literacy, obviously that's a major challenge for students across America.
And in the Bronx particularly, we want to strengthen literacy. So often we may see people. It's funny, as a side, somebody's told me, young people read all the time because they're on social media. And I'm like, whoa, that's reading, and that's important, but that's not the reading we need to succeed. So the conference really focuses on different kinds of subjects and books to strengthen literacy, but also to strengthen culture. We just don't want to read for reading's sake. We want to kind of gain knowledge and learn from what we read. So that's what we're doing this weekend.
And this weekend, the conference has also got a sub-theme, James Baldwin in Perpetuity.
Yeah. So, there was a big election that just passed. James Baldwin kind of foresaw all of this different things happening and not happening. It's been about 30 years since James Baldwin passed. And we're still having the same conversations about race and culture and education here in America, but particularly in the Bronx. A lot of people don't know James Baldwin graduated from DeWitt Clinton High School, which is right down the street. His first writing started at DeWitt Clinton High School. So it's so important that we kind of honor Baldwin and his legacy here in the Bronx.
And when you talk about Baldwin's legacy, what are some of the things that stick out? You talked about forecasting where we are today. What sticks out?
Yeah. He spoke about racism. He spoke about this kind of dual society that we live in of haves and have-nots. Like, even within the black community, there are these kind of hierarchies where there are some people who benefit and succeed, but then there are these other people who are just continuously left behind. If you think about it, when he wrote like Go Tell It on the Mountain or The Fire Next Time, that was almost 50 years ago. He was writing about culture and about racism and about education and how this two-tiered system would lead to half the country constantly being left behind. So the conference wants to touch on that, how after all of this time, we are still continuing to have these conversations. So we invited some educators to come in, create panels around what they are passionate about. It's so funny because a couple of the panelists spoke about this, and they submitted their panels before this last election, but they spoke about how things will change soon, not knowing that Donald Trump would be elected, president, not knowing that we would have a president that would be kind of openly hostile to women and people of color and, religious groups. So it just seems like now is like a perfect time to examine James Baldwin, and not just his life, but we're also looking at Black Lives Matter, we're looking at gender inequality, just these different subjects that really affect us on an ongoing basis here in the Bronx.
Ron Cavanaugh from the Mosaic Literary Magazine is talking about the Mosaic Literary Conference that's taking place this week. Of course, we invite you to come on out and be a part of it.
It's free.
And that's very important.
It's free. It's this Saturday, 12 noon at the Bronx Museum. If you come, we'll have a seat for you. There's a screening, and this film, The Price of the Ticket, it's a documentary on James Baldwin. It is not screened often, and it looks at James Baldwin's life. It has some of his writings. He is in the documentary, recorded tape and video. So it's a really interesting time to just hear about James Baldwin from his own mouth and his own words.
And as we talk about the Mosaic Literary Magazine, before we leave, tell people what can they expect. It comes out 3 times a year.
Yeah. We've been publishing now for 18 years here in the Bronx, New York, out of my apartment.
Go ahead.
And we are focused on writers of the African diaspora. We do book reviews, author interviews, profiles, but in each issue, what I'm most proud of is that we include lesson plans, and teachers can take these lesson plans. Again, it's free. You can download them off our website, mosaicmagazine.org, and teachers can use these lesson plans in the classroom. So we have one on James Baldwin, Audre Lorde. Last year we did Black Lives Matter. So every issue we try to change it up a little bit, but we focus primarily on the African diaspora.
All right, Ron Kavanaugh, our guest in the studio. Best wishes for you this weekend.
Thank you, thank you. We expect a good turnout, about 200 people. So, but don't let that deter you. Come anyway. We'll have a seat for you.
All right, good. And when the next magazine comes out, come on back. All right?
Definitely.
And we can hang out and talk.
Sounds good.
All right,
I'll be a regular on your show.
That's right. We need to see you. That's after all this time. Ron Kavanaugh, Mosaic Literary Magazine. Listen, stay tuned. Got more show coming up. We'll be right back right after this.